My name is Lauren. I'm 33. I didn't want my identity to be the smoking mom. My first experience with Juul, I do remember being like, this is good. It's like a cigarette, but not. I don't miss smoking at all. Like, I can officially say it grosses me out.
Juul is the tobacco alternative that delivers nicotine satisfaction without cigarette ash or lingering odor. Make the switch at JUUL.com/sports.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
A loss so bad you want to slam a fist, reconsider, and you mute the table. A game that was so good, you want that 50, but Kyrie's coming at you if you do that. You know who else is coming at you?
Nobody's here for that.
Bob Ryan, Frank Isola, Clinton Yates, Bill Plaschke. Hit me with it. Let's go.
This is so weird. Where are we?
You ready to be augmented, Bill? You ready, Bob Ryan?
Bob Ryan. Please, don't.
Welcome to the augmented reality, y'all.
Ready. No ice, please.
Titans 28, Cowboys 14. We start there. Dallas's offense and what they were doing, trying to score down 2 scores with 2 minutes to go. It was Stone Age. It was Jurassic. It was like television in non-augmented reality.
Oh.
Frank Isola, we're going to be around the horn to you first. What is the Cowboys' biggest problem?
Well, they got a lot of them, but number one, the quarterback always gets too much credit. And in this case, he's got to get a lot of the blame. Remember, this was a guy that started out 13-3 when he had Tony Romo ready to replace him at any moment. They lost that playoff game to Green Bay. He's gone 12-12 since then. Mm-hmm. And how about when he had a chance to put them up 14-0 on 2nd and goal and he threw that interception? He's making too many mistakes. He's proven that he's just not good enough. Him, like the team, mediocre.
Bill Plaschke, Frank says Dak's the biggest problem. What do you say?
Look at the bigger picture. Since they last won a championship 23 years ago, they've won 3 playoff games. They've gone through 6 head coaches. They've gone through 21 quarterbacks and 1 general manager. Who's a general manager? And where's those flames, Tony? Give me those flames. Give me those flames.
If you're asking for it, you get
Jones.
Nothing.
You don't get it.
It's Jerry Jones is the reason for all this. Let's get the. Oh my God!
They'll sell the team.
Jerry Jones needs to change the general manager. He needs to get rid of himself, fire himself, get someone else to run the thing. He's the only constant. Everything's different. Troy Aikman said the same thing today. Jerry Jones needs to go.
Clinton Yates?
He does, because there's myriad problems. It's not just the quarterback. First of all, Dak is doing a lot more. I mean, he's making ridiculous mistakes. Running out of bounds when he should be throwing the ball out of bounds to not get yards. It's really strange how his development has gotten so truncated. They've replaced their offensive line coach, because that's an issue as well. And Jason Garrett is blowing challenges all over the place. I mean, look, the Cowboys have a lot of issues. Sure, it's easy to say that the general manager could be fired and maybe therefore pick better players, to Frank's point about mediocrity. But overall, they've got an issue there from the top down, leadership-wise, that they've got to figure out.
Bob Ryan.
When are people going to come to the conclusion that they are JAT, just another team, all right? They have been just another team for a long time. And by the way, all right, they've only scored 17.6 points a game in their last 16. Mm-hmm. Now, some of that culpability lies on the quarterback, but not exclusively so. The great tight end is now in the broadcast booth. And what about that wonderful offensive line, the GOAT offensive line? You don't even hear about it anymore. A lot more problems than Dak Prescott. Okay. And there's nothing that ultimately couldn't be solved if Jerry Jones would just take a nice round-the-world cruise for the next 18 months.
That's what I said.
Right. So let's go deeper on this. Let's bring Clinton Yates and Frank Isola to address what Bill and Bob just said. The idea that Jerry Jones, owner of the team, should step down as general manager of the team. Do you ever see that happening, Clinton Yates?
No, but that's why he should probably get rid of Jason Garrett. That's what I'm saying. The first thing that's going to happen is going to be to scapegoat the head coach. It's certainly not going to be him deciding that he's going to do something different when it comes to the decision-making process. If you know you're going to get rid of him anyway, what's the difference between now and later if you know this team is not going to the playoffs? I don't care if they're mathematically, around. They're not going.
Jerry Jones doesn't become Jerry Jones by listening to Troy Aikman, Bob Ryan, Bill Plaschke. He's going to stay in that role. Now, you want to tell him to go get a better quarterback. You want to tell him to get the ball maybe a little bit more to Ezekiel Elliott. That's one thing. You're not going to get Jerry Jones, who so badly wants to win at least one more Super Bowl. He's going to give up everything because you guys think he's the problem. Do you think that he believes that? You're never going to convince him.
Bob, let me ask you this. Jerry maintains that Jason Garrett is going to finish out the season. Make the case for or against that being the right move, Bob.
Well, if they think they're really going to accomplish anything, then they're going to keep him. They're going to. But not. If they want to start thinking about next year and getting a new voice in and having a new fresh set of eyes, look at what they've got left, then get rid of
Plaschke?
They need to get rid of Jason Garrett now. They need to get a quarterback whisperer in there. They're stuck with Dak Prescott. They have no first-round draft picks next year. I don't know where the next quarterback's going to come from. They need somebody to work with Prescott. Garrett, his voice is not being heard anymore. I'd make the change now.
Anybody want to address the actual winner of this game? Is that something you guys can talk about here? The Tennessee Titans, Bob Ryan? Can you see the Titans winning the AFC South?
I could see it because I still need to be sold on the Texans, okay? Circle your calendar, the 26th of November, they play each other. And, I think we'll know a hell of a lot more then.
Bill?
I'm watching a team that converted 79% of its third down opportunities. Mike Vrabel's got them going. I love the way they play. 4 of their last 6 games are at home. I like the Titans to win that division.
You've got the Titans to win that division. Bob Ryan thinks that game at the end of November is the key game. Clinton Yates, Frank Isola, they don't have any time to talk about the team that won the game. They're too focused on the NFC East and the Dallas Cowboys. We'll move on. Farewell, Miami. What does it mean? And how soon until hello, Pittsburgh? Nobody knows. Steelers have a Thursday night game versus Carolina this week. So whether Le'Veon Bell is going to be active for that, I think we can all see where that's trending. Here's something interesting. Contrary to previous reports, and all this may be confusing because of legal mumbo-jumbo, contractual mumbo-jumbo, it's now being reported Le'Veon doesn't have to report to the team this year to become a free agent after this season. Clinton Yates, around the horn of you. Is Bell's best value higher or lower if he sits out the entire season?
I gotta say, Tony, the contractual mumbo-jumbo is actually very important here and very confusing at the same time. But all that being said, I don't think that Le'Veon Bell is necessarily the same value that he was this season going into next season. He's been out a year. And to me in the NFL, that's a big deal. I understand you're trying to save his legs. I understand that he's not that old. But overall, I just don't love it when guys aren't playing the game as a form of sort of improving what they should be. You don't know what's going to happen when he goes to the next team, if he's even still going to be happy because of the contracts he gets. I don't love it when guys decide not to play, and then when they come back, you don't really know what you're
doing. Plaschke?
Would anybody on this panel take a 27-year-old running back who's the best in the league, who just had a year off? Everybody would. He's smart to say at this point, he's all in with the money. He's lost so much money anyway. Sit out his value much higher if he comes back next year, healthy, rested, 27, running back. It all works for him.
Frank Isola?
Bill, you got 2 football teams in L.A. Start paying attention to the sport. They're in first place. Number 1 in Dallas.
You got none. You got none in New York.
Whoa!
You got zero in New York.
We have 0 teams here. You got 0 teams in New York.
Well done, Plaschke.
Who's advising him to sit out? And he's already lost $10 million at a position where the window is so small that at any moment you can get hurt. This makes no sense to me. And who's to say if you sign him, he might not hold out again? You cannot tell me that Le'Veon Bell is helping his value by not playing.
I want more Isola versus Plaschke. First, Bob Ryan.
I'm not going to mess with Isola, I'll tell you that. The answer to the question is probably higher because, and I subscribe to the theory that sitting out a year is a good thing at his age. He saves a year wear and tear on the body at a precarious position. I think that, and by the way, he doesn't have to improve. All he has to do is keep the rate of regression down. If he's only 10% less than what he was last year, he's still a top 5 back in the league.
I'm intrigued by what Bill Plaschke said, and of course, Plaschke, Isola, this might get very physical. But the idea here, Bill, are you saying that we could see other players take off an entire year and it would be a good thing for them and their career and contractually?
Why not? The players have no power at all once they're in there. They can be cut, they can be used, they can be abused. This way he takes time off, gets his legs healthy. What's the one knock against running backs is that their legs are gone.
Frank,
and they have a short lifespan.
Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
He's losing $10 million by not playing.
But he's already lost it.
Smart decision.
At this point, he's already lost it, Frank.
What?
No.
Because he listened to you and he didn't show up. And they're in first place without him. Let's not forget that. They're not in last place.
Let's not forget James Conner's right at the top of the rankings. Let's not forget that the team is in first place right now as well. But that...
Good job, Clinton.
Good job, Clinton, for agreeing with you, Frank. Here, take a view.
I said that to begin.
That doesn't really affect, though, whether this is going to be a success for Le'Veon Bell from Le'Veon Bell's perspective. Maybe from the Steelers' perspective, but from Bell's perspective, not so much. We've been Horn. We'll move on. Nuggets, 115. Celtics, 107. Let's talk about Jamal Murray's hello moment. Hello! Career high 48. And he went for 50 at the buzzer. Said he was trying for it because he wanted that 50 burger. Said he shouldn't have done it, but there was no harm done. Kyrie was a little feisty after this. And after the game, he said he didn't want to make a big deal over it, but it bothers every competitor. Bob, you've covered the game for 5 decades, and you're in the Basketball Hall of Fame. We'll defer to you first here. Are you okay with Murray taking that shot?
I'm not upset. I'll put it that way. Look, I hate all these unwritten rules in all sports. Here's what would have upset me, and here's where there would have been a beef. If he had taken it to the hoop unmolested and laid it in, then I would have said, That's Bush, that's crappy. But throwing up a shot from 35, a Curry-esque shot, and if it goes in, you know what you do if you're Kyrie? You go and you say, pat him on the back and say, great game, and walk off the court.
Frank Isola, same question to you.
I'm surprised by you, Bob. First of all, it's sportsmanship has nothing to do with written or unwritten rules, number one. Number two, they took possession with over 25 seconds to go. So in the flow of the game, he took a shot with 17 seconds left on the shot clock. Fine. Once they got the ball back with 10 seconds to go, you dribble out the clock in that situation. You don't take the shot there. There is a certain protocol. He violated, and he knows it. He said it after the game himself.
Everybody wants in on Isola here. First, Clinton Yates.
A certain protocol, the goal of the game is to put the ball in the basket and you play till the whistle, Frank.
Okay.
This is pretty simple. And Bob Ryan told me last week about how special every 50-point game was. So why on earth would you knock a third-year player for trying to do this? I don't understand how Kyrie Irving, the leader of the Boston Celtics, loses a psychological battle to some kid because he's trying to have a good night on his home court. Man, this is ridiculous from Kyrie on every level.
Frank, you have 2 NBA teams. You ought to pay more attention to the NBA. Here's the deal. All these unwritten rules. Frank, you sit there and complain about the unwritten rules in baseball, yet you're saying this is an unwritten rule. Let them have fun. Oh, I'm on fire. I'm Mr. Fahrenheit. So let them have fun. There's nothing wrong with it. The kid was just was just throwing the ball up there. The crowd was going crazy. He was having fun. Kyrie looked like a fool what he did.
Let me ask you this real quick. Frank Isola, you'd like to amend your statement now after getting the heat from Bill Plaschke.
First of all, they got one team in L.A., and it's the Clippers. Bill should know that by now. They were shaking hands. The battle was over. They were shaking. No one was defending. You guys all criticized Ricky Davis when he did it. That was not the right thing to do. Michael Malone said it, the head coach. Jamal Murray said it. Kyrie Irving. It wasn't the right thing to do in that situation. The game was
Kyrie Irving is a flat earther. Okay? I'm not following this guy's protocol.
Real quick, as we go to break
There you go.
These Denver Nuggets, they're kind of nasty, huh? The only team to beat Golden State, 9-1 right now. As we go to break right here, recalibrate their win total and their seed. Let me hear it. Is this a 55-win team? Could this be a 60-win team? Plaschke?
55-win third seed.
All right, Clinton?
I'll say 50.
Frank Isola, let me hear the music in it.
53 wins for the Nuggets.
And Bob Ryan.
53.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
I think 55. You guys are going low. We'll see what happens on the other side. Buy or sell next.
They're in the West.
I think smoking always affected my daily life because I was a closet smoker. It really sort of controlled my entire day. My boss is the one that recommended Juul, so I decided to give it a try. You don't get any of the odor of smoking. There's no ash all over your car. I would say give it a try.
Get the flavor and satisfaction of smoking without the mess of cigarette ash or lingering odor. Switch to Juul. Check out JUUL.com/sports. If you don't smoke or vape, don't start.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Welcome back to Around the Horn, brought to you by Chase. Coming to you from the Seaport District at Pier 17.
Legit question as we get into buy or sell. Did anybody know it was a college ball night tonight? Ball night!
Long.
Yeah.
Ball night.
Kansas and Michigan State. That's number 1 versus number 10. And number 2, Kentucky. And number 4, Duke. This is a huge night. This is a night you're going to hear about come Selection Sunday. Bill, do you like your season starting like this, or is it too soon for good teams to put it all out there and expect good basketball?
Too soon, Tony. I want to see the Dodgers and Giants play in May, not in spring training. This is spring training. I'm not interested in it. Plus, it's election night. What are they thinking, putting these games on election night when the nation will be watching about the nation's future?
Okay. What they're thinking is people can do 2 things at once. That's what they're thinking. Clinton Yates, please go ahead.
Did I not watch Duke play in Canada on this network 2 months ago before the college football season even started? Don't get me into this spring training stuff. They've been playing basketball the whole time. Why would you turn down bad basketball when it comes to the college game? I'm certainly not one that's going to do it. This tournament has produced some of the best games of the season so far. You know, it's an example.
Okay. You confused me there for a second. You don't think this is going to be bad basketball tonight? You think this is going to be good basketball?
This tournament specifically has turned out some pretty good games in its history, and I think it will too.
Frank Isola?
Tournament? Silly me. I thought Bill Plaschke was going to say it's school night. He was worried how Zion Williamson playing at a 9:30 game in Indianapolis is going to make his first class tomorrow morning. Why not start the season off with 4 marquee teams? I got no problem with. We all know college basketball is starting tonight. 2 great games. I'm all for it.
Bob Ryan.
A dearly departed Bostonian named Jack Renaud once said on the subject of the Red Sox and Yankees playing in April, too much ice cream before dinner. That's what this is. Bill Plaschke on the left coast is 100% right. He's right.
100%
They're way too early for this game. First of all, that you want to see them when at their best. You know what the perfect time for this game to be played is? The week between Christmas and New Year's. That's when this game should be played.
Well, I'll allow for that. Bob, answer me this one. Who are you most excited to see tonight?
Oh my God, it's got to be Zion Williamson. I'm having my breakfast this morning, and Jay Billis is on Golic and Wingo saying that he said never, N-E-V-E-R, never seen anything like Zion Williamson, 6'7", 290, and they had to extend the machine that measures your jump because he jumped too high for it. I said, I got to see this guy.
Plaschke, you want to add to that? Go ahead.
No, I want to see the other guy. I've seen Zion Williamson a million times on viral videos. I want to see R.J. Barrett.
You want to see R.J.
He's supposed
Barrett?
to be the number 1 pick in the whole draft.
All right, there you go. We'll move on. Buy or sell 2. Chicago Blackhawks firing Joel Quenneville and all his assistants this morning. Quenneville's won 3 cups, and if you come at the Quinn, you best not miss. There you are, Clinton. You okay with the Blackhawks firing Quenneville?
I don't love it. Everybody knows that Stan Bowman is the GM of this team. He put together a bum roster, and he's trying to, throw Q out with the rest of it. But here's the thing. People say they fire coaches all the time in the NHL. Last season, first season since the original 6 expansion, no coaches got fired in season. So there's been twice in a week in the NHL now. So I'm not really loving this.
Greg Isola?
I don't know. Longest tenured coach in the NHL. He had won 3 Stanley Cups. Don't you think he deserves a little bit better than this? Sounds like they wanted to get rid of him during the offseason. They were waiting for an opportunity. I don't like it.
Bob Ryan?
People in Chicago know this is the culmination of a power struggle involving Bowman and Quenneville, and it involves an assistant coach named Barry Smith, who's back in the picture, and who Quenneville hates. Oh, this is going to be, just so a lot of intrigue.
Bill Plaschke.
Quenneville is one of only 5 active coaches who have won 3 championships of the major sports, and now he's gone. Oh, that's ridiculous. His winning percentage is 4th in the NHL since he got there in 2008. Of all NHL teams, he deserved to stay.
Buy or sell 3 is a question for you guys, and it's a journalism question. I want to really get your take on this. We're going to talk about the 7 Ottawa Senator players who were in an Uber, who said non-flattering things about their team and coaching staff, and who were recorded, and that recording was leaked. First, from the journalism side, how do you consider how that information came out? Frank Isola, can you start there?
I think it's awful, and the Uber driver is absolutely a creep. But once it gets reported, it is what it is. But let's face it, a lot of people sit around, except for me, and complain about their bosses all the time. So hopefully the outlet's
right. Is that how it works? Okay, all right, yeah. How about you, Bob Ryan?
This is a conversation that could have been held in any high school, college, or pro team in America at any given point in time. And for this guy to do and air it like this is unconscionable, and there should be a special place in hell for that Uber driver.
Okay. I don't know if we should take it exactly there, Bob Ryan. And it is Uber, not Uber. Bill Plaschke, how about you?
Uber.
The leaking of this tape is despicable. And I feel sorry for these kids. But we had to report it. Once the tape's out there, you got to report it.
Okay.
I feel sorry for these kids because, again, everybody has these conversations in every locker room, everywhere. They deserve their privacy. They should know next time to do it, keep it in the locker room.
Well, which one is it going to be? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to say that everybody deserves their privacy, or is it not going to be news? For me, this is simple news judgment. This isn't news. However, I feel bad for these players. They're actually talking about hockey in their off time, which is what their job is. You would think that this would be rewarded.
Well, let me ask you this.
Not somehow
the players'
penalized.
apologies came out immediately, and the team said they were moving on, and this was going to be kept in-house. Can they move on? How do you move on from something like this, Frank?
Well, you could say that, but you cannot tell me that the coach that they were talking about is just going to say, yeah, just forget about it. Let's move on. I think that's going to be a tough one. We'll see how they perform on the ice.
Clinton Yates, Bob Ryan. We're going to see how you perform on ice right now. And you're going the wrong way. Look at the showdown. And it's like we knew it was happening all along. Bill Plaschke.
Get those flames ready.
And Frank Isola. Showdown next.
East Coast West.
Technology Truths, brought to you by Geico.
Technology Truths.
Truth. Teenagers can communicate entirely in emojis.
How was the birthday party? Pizza slice, kitten, soccer ball, pineapple?
Truth. It's so easy to switch and save on car insurance at geico.com.
What are you talking about? Paperclip, shoulder shrug, high five, wizard hat? What?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Plaschke and Isola have been throwing haymakers all show. Viewers scoring. L.A. wants Frank to win. New York wants Bill to win. What's up with you guys? Showdown 1, Saints working out Dez Bryant and Brandon Marshall. Frank Isola, first to you. Make the case for or against bringing in Dez to a team that's looking like the Saints are looking right now.
Well, you're looking to win now. You have a 39-year-old quarterback. Why not add another weapon? And think about how these reclamation projects have worked out for the Patriots. Why can't it work out for the Saints?
Frank, yeah, that's all they need is a big distraction in their locker room. They're rolling right now. They have great chemistry. Drew Brees is playing great. Yeah, they need Michael Thomas needs help. Get him someone with a lesser, maybe, appearance than Dez Bryant. A lesser
talent. It's about talent.
Oh, Bill, you stuck the landing there. I'm giving you the point. We'll move on. Showdown 2. This is the best story in the show. Proposing at mile 16 of the New York City Marathon. She's in the middle of her run. He hops the barrier, gets down on a knee, proposes there. She says yes, gives a kiss, a hug, and then has to run 10 more miles. Bill, fair or foul?
Totally foul. Why are you doing this, dude? Why are you hijacking her moment? This is her moment. Wait till she finishes the race. Let her have her glory. Then you jump in.
Hijacking her moment. She's not in first place, Bill. She's about in, 1400th place. There's nothing wrong with it. The guy's a firefighter from Jersey City. It's a nice moment.
It's not about what place she's in, though, Frank. And you know my company policy here, as somebody who got engaged in between the men's and women's bathroom at LaGuardia Airport, we don't make any judgment. Bill Plaschke, your first win in augmented reality.
Last night, hockey had Hockey Fights Cancer Night. An amazing thing happened. Brian Boyle, center for the New Jersey Devils, scored a hat trick 1 year after being diagnosed with leukemia, a couple weeks after being told he was in remission. The first hat trick of his 12-year career. Talk about fighting cancer on Fight Cancer Night. Great job. Cheers to Brian Boyle.
And he's from Bob's hometown.
Incredible story. Thanks for sharing, Bill Plaschke. All right. Now it's time to see how the viewers scored it. And it's time for a perfectly hit paper toss. You ready? Oh, called the shot. Called the shot. Too hot. Too hot.
I think smoking always affected my daily life because I was a closet smoker. It really sort of controlled my entire day. My boss is the one that recommended Juul, so I decided to give it a try. You don't get any of the odor of smoking. There's no ash all over your car. I would say give it a try.
Get the flavor and satisfaction of smoking without the mess of cigarette ash or lingering odor. Switch to Juul. Check out JUUL.com/sports. If you don't smoke or vape, don't start.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.